UNCUT Live Productions. Today's guest, Mr. Get Right or Get Left. Y'all know what we do. UNCUT Live Productions. We keep it 100 on 1,000. Yours truly, it's your boy, Mr. UNCUT himself. Welcome to another edition of UNCUT Live. Y'all know the motto or the mantra of UNCUT Live Productions, where we focus on mind, body, soul, spirit, faith, social issues, politics, you name it. Nothing is off the table. As I always say, we keep it 100 on 1,000. We will not be paused, edited, or muted. I know this week has been a very progressive, interesting week because we've had elections and we have local elections, presidential elections, and I gotta go on. I'm ready to just really just go in, straight 100. Just go in. The theme for this month, and I have been talking about it for the past 3 to 4 months, is Black justice. As y'all know, we have brought multiple guests on here to, create a dialogue and talk about different stuff, and kind of create that segue for where, as we bring these issues up on how we're going to progress. And when you think about the transition of the year, you have to always look at, are we progressing? Are we going backward? Are we moving forward? What is it that we're doing? And so we talk about Black justice. And so I'm going to get right on into it. Today we have a special guest, a brother, a mentor, a father, a Black man, a warrior, a king, somebody that's out here that knows what it's about. Someone that's out here that's living, that's seeing, what's at stake, what's at stake. And I'm gonna let this individual. This is what I always do for my guests. I always tell the guests, I'm gonna let them introduce who they are, because you do a lot, and and I may not get all the dots.
I mean, you kind of covered it, but for those that don't know, my name is Fox, Mr. Get Right or Get Left. I'm a music artist, songwriter. Have my own clothing line, music label, Salva 301 Music, VA to MD Entertainment, Down the Road Boys, Southern Maryland Music. That's you pretty much covered everything else, Other than that, I'm just trying to do my part. That's it. I'm just trying to do my part, bro.
That's what's up.
That's all we can do.
I got much love for you. Got mad respect for you because you doing it.
I appreciate you. Yes, sir.
I'm taking notes from you.
We take notes from each other.
So as you just heard me talk about Black justice. So
yes, sir.
Because I'm on the side. For the particulars out there, people that know me, I'm against all injustice.
Right.
But in particular, on this segment, we're gonna talk about what's been happening to a lot of our Black men. I don't know if you've heard about the Karan Hilton, the young man that was chased down.
On a bike.
Yeah.
Right.
We about 55 days from when we had the protests against George Floyd.
Right.
The country was in an uproar. What I'm saying? Everybody was.
Right.
We was going in.
Right.
And what I find interesting is we got this stuff that's like right here, like right here in our back and front yard,
Right.
and it's like, where do we go? So when you get a term Black Justice, like what do you like? Do you have a vision? Like,
Black justice to me basically just means getting what's due. If something is, my thing is, and like, because I briefly heard about the situation with the young man. What you said his name was?
Karan Hilton.
Karan Hilton. My thing is, if he was wrong in the situation as far as operating the vehicle, the whatever he was on public road, however they want to word it. I get that, but did he deserve to lose his life? Because if my understanding is he's no longer here, right?
Right. And the crazy thing is, I just found out the other night was that there's a law for no chasing.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I was getting to. So my thing is, just because someone breaks law doesn't equal death. That shouldn't equal death. If he was wrong, okay, you catch up with him, and he get what's deserved for breaking the law, whatever's required, and all of that. But at the end of the day, he didn't deserve to die because he ran from the police, or he was operating a moped or a dirt bike on a public street. That doesn't constitute dying. Like, they can't get me to sit here and agree with them on that. Like, okay. And you said it's a no chase law. So why were you chasing the young man in the first place? For driving a moped or a dirt bike? Are you serious? Come on, man. But that's just my take on it. A lot of times these, and not all of them, because all officers are not bad. I got a couple homeboys that's on the police force, and they do their job to where they see fit. If they feel like their life is really in danger, they're going to take the necessary precautions to make sure they make it home to their family. Other than that, they come do their job. They're not going to hassle you if you breaking law. Of course the police going to come, but at the end of the day, it's not like they out here just picking with people to be picking with people. But there are police out here that do that. They got this chip on their shoulder, and they feel like that they can just do what they want to because they're police officers, and that's not right. Because at the end of the day, we all have laws that we need to abide by, even them. They want to be the judge and the jury, and it don't work like that. At least not for us, anyway.
Yeah. It's real crazy because I don't think we really. So I was explaining to someone the other day. I said, why is it that sometimes officials, I'll just put it to you like that, just for lack of a better term, officials,
Right.
that when they mess up, you get what I'm saying, they feel as if that they don't have to, if they mess up, that they don't, there's no reprimand. If I hire a contractor to come in and paint the wall
Right.
black, and he come in and paint the joint yellow.
Right. Yeah, it don't work like that. But like I said, for them, it does because it's been a culture for them. That's just the way it's been for them. Like, they do certain things. Now, granted, some of them do things out of fear, and at the end of the day, that's still not right, because being a police officer is a tough job, and I get it. But you know what you're signing up for. It's a lot of bad people out here, and just because I might break law by riding my dirt bike on a public road and it's not registered, that don't make me someone that you need to come gun down or or knock off my bike and kill. You know, because eventually it's gonna come to a point where you're gonna catch up with me. You know, and then justice will be served, whatever the case may be. But don't take the law into your own hands and chase me down and knock me off my bike. Now I'm dead. Now you got to go. Now it's on your conscience, because trust and believe, a lot of them probably live with that for the rest of their life. You know, they might get off, you know, and not to say that's a good or bad thing. It's just, you know, I'm just stating facts. In reality, you know, some of those people that do it, they do have a conscience, and they have to end up living with that they did this action, and now they took somebody's life, you know, and now the family have to deal with the fact that their loved one is not here anymore. So, you know, the officers kind of need to abide, not kind of, but they need to abide by the rules, you know, because we have to abide by the rules.
Yeah.
Because if I go out here and try to do whatever, you know, do certain things, it's gonna be some, you know, I'm gonna be reprimanded for it. You know, it's gonna be actions taken against me. I'm gonna be in the courthouse. I'm gonna have to pay for a lawyer, this, that, and the third. But when they do it, it's like, you know, let's see the tape. Let's not jump to conclusions. We don't know exactly what happened. But when I do it, you automatically lock me up. You automatically give me a bond. It's no, you know, it's no gray area when I do it. It's just black and white. But it's this big gray area when they do it, you know, because because they're the police. So they, you know, it's not right, but it's just been the culture, and it's just been the way it is, you know. And it's going to take for somebody to come in and change the culture, but that's a lengthy conversation right there. That's a whole.
Yeah, we could be out. We could
right.
We probably have multiple episodes
right.
on that within
Right.
itself. You know, my one of my mentors, Dr. Bunky, out in Baltimore, he said we become cultural analysts instead of cultural workers. And I just been meditating on that, you know, these past few days. I'm like, woo.
Right. That's tough. That's tough.
I'm like, woo.
That's tough.
Yeah.
And I definitely get what he's saying, you know. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, he's basically saying people, you know, we're analyzing from afar, and we're not actually doing the work.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Shout out to the We Are Us movement, just by the way, you know, Dr. Bunky, y'all should check him out. Check out the We Are Us movement in Baltimore. It's an organization. Well, I won't say organization, it's a movement.
Right.
So these brothers, they go in the trenches, and where there may be gun violence going on, they go in there and got the NOI, FOI, got a few Christian brothers with them, and literally they go to the places where it's like, you know, killing, shooting and stuff going on.
Right.
They go to those areas and they provide resources.
They go to basically places most don't want to go.
Yeah. And they, you know, they provide resources like rehab. You know, they put brothers out to job, get them checked in, you know, to help change the, you know, the narrative, because we see the media say, oh, Baltimore, they don't care about their people, you know. It's like, okay.
Yeah, Baltimore get a bad rap, man. I actually like, you know, it's when every city and every town you go to, it has its bad places, you know, and bad people. But I actually, I got a love for Baltimore. I got a few homeboys that's from Baltimore, and I have family that's from Baltimore. So, you know, I got love for Baltimore.
Yeah, you know, the crabs.
You know, I got love for Baltimore, man. You know, I've met quite a few dudes from B-More that's solid. You know, they solid, man. You know, sometimes, man, people environment, you know, dictate their actions, man. You know, if you in a jungle, you know, some places you feel like it's a jungle, your environment is a jungle. You gotta adapt, or you gonna get eaten up. You know, not that people are bad people. You know, you just grow up keeping your guard up because you never know. It's because your environment that you were born into. It's not nothing that you personally created for yourself. Like, I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna be this tough guy. None of that. You know, it's just like, hey man, I gotta protect myself. You know, but yeah, shout out to B More, man.
Yeah, appreciate you. So, you got two things for Uncut Line Productions. We're a community platform.
Right.
As you see, well, for those y'all can't really see, but on the sign it says "For the People."
Right.
This is a community platform for the people by the people. And so what we try to do on Uncut Live Productions is always try to promote entrepreneurs,
Right,
people
right.
that have businesses and stuff like that. So you have a clothing
Yes, sir.
company. So I want to tell for our viewers out here, what they can do to check you out, get plugged in, and get your.
Okay. Well, yeah, my clothing line is called GRGL Way of Life. It's short. You know, basically, it stands for Get Right or Get Left. It's just abbreviation of it. And you actually, right now, I don't have a website, but let me make sure I get this right. I don't want to be just throwing names out there. You know, I want to make sure you can get right to it. So my IG is GRGL Way of Life _apparel. That's GRGL Way of Life _apparel. And yeah, hit me up on that, or you can hit me up on my personal Instagram page, and that's Fox Salva 301, Fox with 2 X's. So yeah, and this actually is one of the designs right here that I have currently out. This is the Progress is a Process T-shirt. And I got the GRGL, and
That's dope. I gotta get one of those.
yeah, and it has the Get Right or Get Left on the back.
Let's see. We can make sure we get right there. There we go.
Yep. So yeah, man. Yeah, that's the clothing line, and if you go to the page, you can see some of the other designs, and I have some other stuff in the works, and yeah, that's about it for the clothing line right now. I'm working on some stuff, but I'm not going to disclose that. I wanted to, kind of be a surprise to the people.
Yeah.
You know.
So, so as we were just talking about Karan Hilton, what you got a track that joint popping, you know what I mean?
Appreciate that.
Like what, because I understand that people have a way of getting a message or bringing, informing people or awareness. Everybody has different needs.
Right.
Some people know how to lobby. Some people know how to create policy. Some people know how to actually go out in the streets and make noise. And so, so you had that album. Dum 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 dum.
Yeah.
Dum.
That's it's called We Don't Need. It's from a sample of a Bob Marley song called No More Trouble. That's actually where it comes from. So but yeah, it's basically I just heard the beat one day, man, and I just got inspired for it. And it wasn't like I said, oh yeah, I need to make a song like this. I just heard the beat, and that's the vibe I got from it. And I mean, Bob is Bob,
Oh yeah.
Bob is one of the GOATs. So when I heard the beat and the sample, I'm like, man, that's tough. So as I got the vibe into it, that's the vibe I got to it. And it's like, right now what's going on, it was perfect. So basically the song is about, injustices and police brutality and equality, humanity, all of those things tied into one. And I myself being a victim of police brutality also. So that's another thing. It's just when people ask me about it, it's more than just a
surface level.
Yeah, it's just more. It's more than just a record that I put out.
Yeah.
You know, just to entertain people. I actually went through police brutality. I have family members that died from police brutality. My a friend of mine, he's like my brother. He's like my little brother. My man Ernest. He died in a South Carolina jail in Seneca, South Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't give him the proper care, so he ended up dying in jail. And then I have a cousin that was shot by the police. My cousin Jonathan Lyles was shot by the police. This was in '06 in La Plata, Maryland. He was shot by the police. And another cousin, DeAndre Dorsey, he was tased by the police in Waldorf, Maryland, and which caused him to have seizures, and then he ended up passing away. So the song has a lot of, it's just not something I did. It has a lot of meaning to it, and it's kind of one of those things that it's kind of like my baby at the moment. It's something that I always will be like when people ask okay, what's your favorite song? I have a lot of favorite songs that I've done, but this one is definitely in the favorite slot now. So yeah, that's how that song came about, man. And anybody that want to hear the song, videos on YouTube. And once again, the name of the song is it's called "We Don't Need" by Fox, Mr. GR. It's spelled FO 2 X's and then MRGRGL. That's short for Mr. Get Right or Get Left. And you can get the single, download it, or stream it on any streaming platform: iTunes, Tidal, Apple Music, Pandora, wherever you stream and download music from. You can get the single "We Don't Need."
And y'all will hear a segment of this somewhere between this live. I'm just glad that we got another soldier out here that's, that is making moves, that's bringing awareness to, what's at hand.
Right.
And really just taking the time to, invest, coming out to Uncut Live Productions, and just really, just sharing, what it is you're doing, and, the footprint that you're making,
Right.
About 2 nights ago, I had the pleasure of actually interviewing the mother of Karan Hilton and the father of Karan Hilton, and
right.
I was actually out there with them.
Right.
It was about cold, about 39 degrees out there.
Right.
It was chilly, and just covering, coverage, with
right.
them, and hearing their voice, and just seeing like, what it is that, that they were in need of, and they weren't rioting.
Right.
They were out there for about over 3 hours, saying, "Hey, can I speak to the police chief? Can I speak to someone? We need to get a full-fledged report. This is a mother.
Right.
This is saying, hey, she just wants, what's rightfully so. Let me know what's what.
Right.
Let me know what transpired.
Just trying to make sense of what's going on.
And it's just unfortunate that the situation happened the way that it did, and we're talking about Black justice, and
right.
Like I said, I know it's elections, and it's a lot that
it's rough, man, and that's another reason why I was inspired to make that song, man. It's like once I heard the beat, I was inspired to. That's what came to mind, and it's just happened so that we're in a climate right now in the world that what's going on, it goes together, so, and it's like songs like that, even if I didn't do that song, I would still have the same feeling, because it's one of those songs that you can relate to. Because like I said, I've been a victim of police brutality myself. The police try to beat me up and give me some trumped up charges. I went to court, I had to get a lawyer, pay money that I didn't necessarily have, that had to take away from providing for my family. But in order for me to stay home so I can be there with them, I had to do what I had to do. You know, most would say, well, if you wasn't breaking law, but that don't constitute me getting beat up. You know.
And they act like, this is the thing that I often hate. Crime is crime, and we talk about proximity and all that other stuff. But it's like, when I had bought one of the other candidates on here, congratulations, she's a judge, but she was saying that black justice should look the same way it is for. Because I asked her, I said, "What is black justice for you? You about to be you're a candidate for judge." She said, "Black justice is white justice. That's exactly what it should be. The same way, the same. It shouldn't be no difference. It shouldn't be black people get tougher crimes, tougher penalties for the crimes that they commit
for the same crime.
For the same crime that
Right.
So it is something that we kind of have sort of someone our backs against the wall, because we got this issue. But when I always bring guests and individuals, I always try to see like somebody yourself. I know what it's like to have guns pulled out, 5 guns pulled out by police, and they misidentify me, brush it off the shoulder like nothing happened. And you're just supposed to be like, oh.
Yeah.
What do you have in before in closing out? Because I always try to, in my shows, to figure out something positive or something that can kind of help people to push through. Particularly, it's a platform. That's that we try to cover. Those different things. Something positive. Like, what would you, or could, or do you have anything positive? That's especially in a black man.
Only thing I really can say, and I'm one of those types that I'm not gonna like give false hope and sugarcoat nothing.
Yeah.
You just gotta keep pushing, and I know it's hard. Some people might look at my situations and what I go through and what I got going on, and they see me doing music, they see I got the clothing line. I still have everyday struggles like the next person. I still go through having to pay bills late. I'm still an ordinary person, and even if I wasn't, even when I get to the level of success to where money isn't an issue, it's still going to be other issues. So only thing I could say to people is, try to get some type of peace of mind. I don't want to bring religion into it as so much, because that's not for everybody.
Right.
You do what you do. You're a spiritual advisor, or however you deal with the higher power. I would suggest you lean on that, or try to do something therapeutic, do something that makes you happy. Because every day ain't gonna be good. It's gonna be some bad days. But you just gotta keep pushing. Every day that you get up, you step foot on that pavement, you keep pushing. One thing I always look at it is like, I had some days I've been, I like to be, I talk to people, I like to be, the word I'm looking for, I just like to be up front and
real.
And be real and not sugarcoat nothing. It's like, it's been days that I've been at my house and sit in my room and nobody's home and cry. I'll cry because of stuff that I've been through, and stuff that I've overcame, and stuff that I'm gonna have to go through, and I might be dealing with it. Because I'm the type of person that I always kind of put other people before me. I'm always the guy that's want to help, and I tend to neglect my own self. So it'd be times I'll be sitting at home and I just break down crying. But one thing I look at it is, when I go through those type of emotions and those motions, I might get in the car after that and have to go to the store and do grocery shopping or anything. and even grocery shopping. I look at that as a privilege because some people can't get in their car and go grocery shopping.
Yeah.
Some people got to catch the bus. Some people don't have money to do it. So I always look at it as like, if somebody's going through something worse than I am, if somebody right now laying in the bed at Washington Hospital Center with cancer or gunshot wound or anything, you know, and even though nobody's pain or what they're going through in life is smaller than the other, but for me personally, I look at it as like, man, you better get yourself up and keep pushing, because you could be that. You could be this. You could be that man standing in the front of the store panhandling that really don't have it. I ain't talking about the jokers that panhandling, you know, because they trying to just cheat people out of life.
But
real people that don't have it. So that's what I would suggest to, you know, somebody, you know, just keep pushing, because there's somebody going through it way worse than you. Believe that.
Yeah, and especially with the climate of 2020, all the different stuff we got going on.
I'm blessed. I ain't supposed to be here. I was in an accident, hit a telephone pole, and shot at the very next day. You know, and ended up getting locked up. So that was God telling me, hey, that was God putting me in jail. Because it's like the first day you get in an accident, being somewhere you wasn't supposed to be, out, you know, doing something you weren't supposed to be doing. Then the very next night, you get shot at. Then the very next day, you get locked up. So I'm like, hey, man, it's time for me to sit down and get myself together, because, man, I've been through a lot. So I just keep pushing, man. You got to keep pushing. If somebody going through something worse than you, man, trust and believe that.
Yeah. Shout out to the movers and shakers.
Indeed.
The movers and shakers, the ones on the front lines and ones behind the scenes. We never really talk about.
We appreciate y'all, because as much as I'm sitting there, you know, I was kind of like, I'm a mentor, but I've never really been a frontliner, so to speak. My frontlining is using my platform of music to get the message across. And I tell people all the time, it's like, everybody has their job. I might not be a frontliner. You are a frontliner. You know, you're a frontliner. This is what you do. My frontlining is using my platform as music to get a positive message across. And I don't knock people what they do as an artist, because your art is your art. But if you got 10,000, how many people you got on your social media? If you're going to use your platform, just make sure you telling people both sides of the story. Just don't be out here glorifying ignorant stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you glorify ignorant stuff, and then you crying about struggling, and then you say, you know, a lot of that don't go hand in hand, man. And it took me a while to understand stuff like that. You know, but you know, hey, man, all I can say is keep pushing, man, and use your platform for what you can use it to bring about change, man.
I appreciate you for coming onto the platform, you know, taking time from your family and your other affairs.
Not a problem. I appreciate you reaching out.
You know, your love and, you know, support, you know. Anything that I always try to do is change the narrative,
right?
You know, with black men, you know,
right.
You know, I shout out to my sisters, but I'm talking about the brothers, okay?
Right.
But, you know, just because of the fact that who we represent, you know, as black men, you know, they're always trying to put black men in this, you know, this image of not being a positive role model or being positive or someone who is trying to make a difference. It's always some type of, you know, tape or something they're trying to make it gloomy.
Right,
you know,
right. We kind of get a bad rep.
Yeah, you know, and it's like, chill.
Yeah, you know, because it is, I look at it like this. It is some bad guys out here, but at the end of the day, it don't matter what color you are. It's bad people wherever.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But it is some great black men out here that get up every day. And another thing I want to say, I don't want to overtalk you, you know, but I always look at it like this. It's like when people say, well, you don't need to get a trophy for doing this and doing that. I just feel like sometimes, not necessarily a trophy, but black men are we are taught to not to show feelings. And that's one of the biggest issues that we have, you know, that leads to mental health issues. And a lot of us are dealing with it, and we don't show it because we taught to walk around like we so tough and we mugging on. No, you know, everybody goes through stuff, man.
I got to bring you back.
You know what I'm saying?
You got to come back onto the show because I wanted to talk about that. I had somebody email me a question. They said, why is it so hard for men to show emotional love?
Right.
And yeah, we're going to have a panel one day. We're just going to have a panel.
Right.
Uncut, all men. Women are not allowed. But we're going to talk about, you know, but real talk. You know, I got a table in the other room. We're going to have a called table talk. We going to, you know,
I'm down.
You know, we got to talk about this because that's something that really needs to be.
And that's another thing that's you know, that right there is one of the things alone that's one of the reasons why you see stuff in certain neighborhoods go on.
Yeah. Because
we don't know how to deal with our emotions. Like, a lot of men, they only know 2 gears. One. Some of them only know one, and that's just go.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, they don't know how to have a conversation. If, like, say, if me and you disagreeing on something, a lot of men don't know how to disagree without having it heated to the point where we want to put hands on each other.
Yeah.
And that's just some deep-rooted stuff that needs to be dealt with. Yeah. You know, because a lot of people that I know that their background is kind of sketchy, so to speak, if that's what they want to say, they ain't bad people. Yeah. A lot of them was just dealt a bad hand. And, you know, it's like, you know, just like with food. If you be eating chitlins and fried chicken all your life, you know, somebody tell you, hey, man, you got to become a vegan. You're going to look at them like crazy. Yeah. Man, what you mean, man? Give me that fried piece of chicken, man. Yeah, give me that chicken. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing this all my life, so it's hard to break the cycle, man. Yeah. But it can be broken.
Time.
It can be broken.
Yeah. I'm trying to learn to eat more healthy. You know, I've been doing like the vegetable smoothies and the fruit smoothies, and it's a process. I haven't fully completed, you know, taking.
That's one of my struggles. You know, I don't smoke or drink anymore. I struggle with bad eating habits, and I can be upfront and open and say that, and I'm not ashamed of it. I'm a type 2 diabetic. You know what I'm saying? And I struggle with that every day. It's a struggle because it's like you're so to get good food, so to speak, you have to prep. Yeah. So if you don't prep, you're short because you find yourself eating bland, repetitive foods that you don't want to eat. So it's easier just to stop by a Wendy's or McDonald's. Well, I don't really eat McDonald's. Well, I really don't eat fast food no more. I've gotten better over the years, actually, to be honest with you. And this is the number one key.
The water.
Yeah,
that is the key. Yours truly, Uncut Live Productions. Y'all know how we do. Mind, body, soul, and spirit. You know, we're gonna definitely have to bring you back on the set.
Yes, sir.
Real talk. We get that you know, we get that discussion going because you really hit. You know, mental health is something that I'm a real strong proponent for, you know, pioneer for.
Right.
You know, that's just, I believe that mental health is wealth.
Indeed.
You know, I know we always talk about the financial wealth. Let's
Indeed.
talk about the mental health.
Yes, sir.
Being wealth.
Physical and mental health is wealth.
Yeah.
Indeed. Because if you're not mentally well or physically well, you won't be here to spend any of that money anyway. So it's kind of like useless. So you have to be right. And you know, I don't mind coming back because I went through through depression when my homeboy got killed. You know, when my homeboy died, shall I say? You know, I went through depression. I didn't know I was depressed until after me going through the motions for so long. And I'm like, these are all of the signs of depression. Yeah. Didn't want to go nowhere. Didn't want to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? I went to work, came home. You know, I didn't want to be around nobody. It was the same thing, you know. But, you know, you just got to push through, man. It can be done.
That's the message for today from Uncut Live Productions. You know, push through. You know, we really got to push through. And we really do have to push through on so many different levels. We know it's election. You still got to push through regardless of who's in the White House, who's not in the White House.
For sure.
Still got to push through. Still got to push through regardless. Republicans, Democrats, whatever. Y'all already know how I do. I keep it 100. You know, we got to push through. You know, we're getting transition into a new year. 2021 is coming up. Don't be so much in a rush to let this year end itself. I'm gonna close out with this. I've been saying this for quite some time. Most of us judge success based upon the harvest and what it looks like. But really, we should be not so much looking at the harvest. We should be looking at the process that it takes to produce the harvest. Oh, because we don't understand. You look at the farmer.
Right.
He's already put into his mind like, hey, I'm not looking at what my crops is going to be like, because I know what I got to do to that ground. I got to till that soil.
Yeah.
I gotta cultivate that soil to whereby that harvest is going to come into fruition. Mm-hmm. The harvest not going to come into fruition if he doesn't
take them steps.
Take them steps. And so,
progress is a process.
There you go.
Trust and believe that.
You know, yours truly though. I always like to close out. Check my man out one more time.
Yes, sir. Once again, my name is Mr. Get Right or Get Left. Fox, Mr. Get Right or Get Left. You can check me out on Instagram at Fox with 2 X's south of 301. Also my band page, South of 301 Music. The clothing line page is GRGL Way of Life _apparel. Once again, it's your man FOXX, Mr. Get Right or Get Left, South of 301 Music, VA to MB Entertainment, Down the Road Boys. Tito, what it do, man? Already.
And as I always say, you guys can continue to follow me on Instagram, Change Agent Now Forever. It's pretty much my Instagram is like a day in the life of me, what I do, how I live. As I always say, we all we got, we all we need. Each one reach one, each one love one, each one hug one, each one embrace one, each one hear one, each one listen to one. We all we got, we all we need. Peace.
We uncut, baby. It's really out here, stirring it, running wild. Case by case, base by base,